Have you ever wondered how to streamline your coding process and increase productivity? Well, there's a powerful tool that's been making waves in the tech world, and it's known as ChatGPT. It's a language model developed by OpenAI, designed to understand and generate human-like text. Imagine having an assistant that can help you with your coding tasks, from generating code snippets to debugging and optimizing your code. That's exactly what ChatGPT can do. For software professionals, this is a game changer. It can lead to a more streamlined coding process, less time spent on debugging, and ultimately, increased productivity. But how exactly can ChatGPT help you? Well, it comes down to the prompts you feed it. These prompts can be tailored to suit your specific needs, turning ChatGPT into your personal coding assistant. Now, let's delve into the top 10 prompts that can redefine your software development process. First up, we have code syntax suggestions. Picture this. You're racing against the clock, trying to finish a crucial piece of code, and suddenly you're stuck. You can't remember the exact syntax of a certain function, or maybe you're unsure if you've structured your loop correctly. This is where ChatGPT comes in with its code syntax suggestions. Think of it as having a knowledgeable teammate right by your side, ready to give you a nudge in the right direction. Whether it's reminding you to close that parenthesis, suggesting the correct order of parameters, or even pointing out that you've missed a semicolon, ChatGPT is there to help. For example, if you're working with Python and you've written a for loop but forgotten the colon at the end, ChatGPT will suggest adding it in. Or if you're coding in JavaScript and you've accidentally used a single equals sign for comparison, ChatGPT will suggest changing it to a double or triple equals sign. With this, you can avoid common syntax errors and improve code quality. Next, we have debugging assistance. Picture this. You're knee-deep in code and something's not working, but you just can't figure out what. That's where ChatGPT can be a real game changer. ChatGPT has the ability to spot potential issues in your code. It can highlight errors, suggest fixes, and even provide explanations for the issues it identifies. For instance, suppose you've got an infinite loop that you can't quite untangle. Enter your problematic code into ChatGPT and it will give you insights into what's causing the loop and how to break free from it. Or maybe you're dealing with a persistent null pointer exception. ChatGPT can help pinpoint where the null value is coming from and suggest ways to handle it. It's like having a seasoned coder looking over your shoulder, ready to help whenever you hit a roadblock. This can significantly reduce your debugging time and effort. So let ChatGPT be your trusty sidekick in the epic battle against bugs and errors. Now, let's explore code optimization. Optimization is about making your code run more efficiently. It's like tuning a musical instrument to produce the best sound. And guess what? ChatGPT can help you with that. Imagine writing a loop that runs 1,000,000 times. Now, the system won't complain, but it will take a lot of time and resources. This is where ChatGPT comes in. It can suggest alternative methods like using a more efficient algorithm or exploiting a language-specific feature. For instance, if you're using Python, ChatGPT might suggest list comprehension instead of a traditional for loop, saving you time and computational resources. In other words, ChatGPT is like a seasoned programmer sitting next to you, offering tips and tricks to make your code better. Remember, efficient code is not just about speed, it's also about resource utilization. Optimized code means faster execution and better resource utilization. Moving on, we have refactoring suggestions. Refactoring, as most of you may know, is the process of restructuring existing code without changing its external behavior. It's like tidying up your room. Everything still functions the same, but it's cleaner, more organized, and easier to navigate. Now imagine having an assistant to suggest how to tidy up your code. That's where ChatGPT comes in. ChatGPT can provide suggestions on how to refactor your code for better readability and maintainability. For instance, if you have a lengthy function, ChatGPT might suggest breaking it down into smaller, more manageable functions. Or if you have repetitive code, it could suggest creating a reusable function. These suggestions not only make your code cleaner, but also easier to understand and debug. Remember, while refactoring doesn't add new features, it significantly improves the quality of your code base, making it easier for you and your team to work with in the long run. Refactoring is essential for long-term code maintainability. Let's look at code review next. Imagine having a seasoned developer by your side, looking over your code, pointing out areas of improvement, and offering suggestions for refinement. That's exactly what ChatGPT can do for you. ChatGPT uses its machine learning algorithms to understand your code and identify areas where you could potentially improve. It can suggest better variable names, point out redundant code, and even spot potential bugs that might have slipped past your notice. For instance, if you've written a loop that could be optimized, ChatGPT will catch it and show you a more efficient way. If there's a function that's not used anywhere, it will point it out. It's like having a second pair of eyes on your code, except these eyes have been trained on thousands of code repositories. Incorporating ChatGPT in your code review process can help you write cleaner, more efficient, and bug-free code. Regular code reviews can greatly enhance code quality. Now, onto testing suggestions. While coding is an art, testing is the magnifying glass that reveals the hidden flaws. That's where ChatGPT comes in handy. It doesn't just understand and generate code, it can also suggest diverse testing scenarios and edge cases. Imagine you're working on a feature that involves user inputs. ChatGPT can help you think outside the box by suggesting tests for unexpected or extreme inputs. For instance, what happens when the user enters a negative number where a positive one is expected? Or what if the input is a string instead of a number? These are the kind of edge cases that can slip through the cracks, but with ChatGPT by your side, you're less likely to miss them. In addition, ChatGPT can also suggest different testing methods and frameworks that might be suitable for your code. Remember, thorough testing is the key to reliable software. Let's talk about documentation assistance. In the realm of software development, clear and concise documentation is as vital as the code itself. It's the roadmap that guides your future self and other developers to understand the intent and functionality of your code. But let's be honest, writing documentation can be a bit of a chore. This is where ChatGPT comes in, acting like a helpful assistant, aiding you in crafting your code documentation. You simply feed it the code and it generates the documentation, explaining the purpose, the functionality, and even the parameters involved in a clear, comprehensible manner. Take, for instance, a complex sorting algorithm. ChatGPT can generate a documentation that outlines the algorithm's purpose, its input and outputs, the sorting methodology, and the time complexity, all in plain English. Remember, well-documented code is the hallmark of a professional developer. Good documentation makes your code easier to understand and maintain. Next up, learning new languages. The world of coding is as vast as it is diverse, with countless programming languages to explore. But fear not, ChatGPT is here to assist. You see, ChatGPT is not just fluent in English, it's multilingual in the programming world too. Let's say you're an expert in Python, but you've been tasked with a project that requires JavaScript. Instead of spending countless hours learning the language from scratch, you can ask ChatGPT to translate your Python code into JavaScript. Just feed it a code snippet and watch as it does the heavy lifting for you. For instance, you can give it a Python function to find the maximum of a list, and ChatGPT will provide the JavaScript equivalent. It's like having a personal language tutor at your disposal, ready to guide you through the intricacies of new languages. Learning new languages can open up new opportunities. And with ChatGPT by your side, those opportunities have never been closer. Now, let's delve into code generation. Imagine a world where you could simply describe what you want your code to do, and it gets written for you. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, with ChatGPT, it's closer to reality than you might think. ChatGPT can generate code snippets based on natural language descriptions. For instance, you could tell it, I need a function in Python that takes a list of integers as input and returns their sum. And voila, ChatGPT will generate the appropriate Python function for you. This capability is a game changer for developers. It can significantly cut down the time you spend writing boilerplate code or figuring out the syntax for a particular function or feature. Instead, you can focus more on the logic and structure of your program. So whether you're laying down the initial groundwork for your application or just need a quick piece of code, ChatGPT has got your back. This can save you a lot of time during the initial development phase. Finally, we have code explanation. One of the most fascinating features of ChatGPT is its ability to explain complex code snippets in simple, layman's language. This feature is especially handy when you're faced with a chunk of code that seems like a labyrinth of logic and syntax. Imagine a scenario where you've been handed a piece of code written by a colleague who's gone on vacation. You're trying to decipher it, but it's like trying to read an alien language. This is where ChatGPT comes into play. You can simply feed the code into ChatGPT and ask it to explain what the code does. In response, it provides a detailed step-by-step breakdown of the code, explaining what each part does and how it all fits together. For example, if you have a complex algorithm, ChatGPT can break it down, explaining how the algorithm works, what inputs it takes, and what outputs it produces. Understanding complex code can be a breeze with ChatGPT. We've covered a lot of ground today. From code syntax suggestions to code explanation, we've dived into 10 significant prompts that ChatGPT offers to revolutionize your software development journey. Remember, ChatGPT is not just a tool, it's your digital ally. It's there to suggest improvements in your code syntax, assist you in debugging your code, and even optimize it for better performance. It can also offer refactoring suggestions, review your code, propose testing strategies, and even help you with documentation. And if you're keen on learning a new programming language, ChatGPT can be your tutor, providing you with code generation and detailed explanation of the code. Each prompt has its unique benefits, and when used effectively, they can significantly boost your productivity and improve code quality. So don't shy away from experimenting with these prompts. Forge a stronger bond with ChatGPT and watch it transform your coding experience. With the right prompts, ChatGPT can be a game changer in your software development process.